Game number 2 of what is already a phenomenal best of 5 between Dumu and B. B able to get the lead early. Can he extend it now? We've got HRE versus Malians. It definitely looks like the type of draft matchup where he could. Ladies and gents, if you've been watching HRE versus Malians recently, you know exactly why this is a pain point for Malian players. The march is already on the way, the spearmen have arrived, and the outpost rush is in effect. Dumu's reaction is, it's not that big of a deal. I'm sorry, what was that, Dumu? It's not that big of a deal. Dumu, can you say a little loud? I'm fine. Yeah, so he's just basically going to try to ignore the problem. Which is hard to do when 2 of your 3 viable gold veins are on one side of your base here. And this is a long walk out for the villager. Yeah, against marching drills, you could just get pinched. See? Let's go for the dive in. Quick reaction out of Dumu. But you can't come back now. This has to be a Saharan trade network. Which is pretty much what B is aiming for. If he can force you to Saharan, he can still build the outpost here. Right? That will still block you from actively gold gathering and getting the second gold vein, and you would have sacrificed 75 gold a minute. But Dumu says no. He refuses to give the trinkets up. He's going to get Mansa, but it's going to cost him his gold veins. That's an interesting question from Bio Browning. Since we're on the subject, I've been wondering why you chose this game. You're a uniquely skilled caster. Why AoE? Thank you. So I think AoE, the timing kind of lined up, was part of it. I believe that this was the RTS that had the potential to be the next great RTS. I've always said that Age of Empires 4 had the potential to be, for RTSs, what Valorant was for tactical shooters. Admittedly, the potential was wasted. It was also an opportunity to explore the content art, because I was wanting to do more content, because I was doing less casting in Dota 2. Instead of wallowing around, I wanted to get active and create casting content. People don't really give a crap about Dota 2 individual casting channels, because you have all these big orgs for it. Age of Empires games is a pristine example of being a content creator and being a caster, because you can just go spectate anything freely. So that open accessibility seemed logical to me. And at the time, there was also, I wouldn't say any other like esports potential art that I was seeing develop. So I think, part of it really lined up to fortuitous timings. It made the most sense. I could have went to Valorant and competed with dozens of casters that have more FPS experience than me. Even though, like, I love FPSs and watched FPS for years. I could have went with, like, what? StarCraft 2 that's already oversaturated and you need to be a content creator anyway. Same with AoE 2. So Age of Empires 4 is willing to give it a shot because it seemed like the best opportunity. And that being said, it was very hard because starting that opportunity, I started outside of the sphere. So I didn't have any early access. I didn't have any early exposure point like other people. So we had to really build from scratch. So I had to learn a lot. I had to learn how to be a YouTuber. It was a big part of it. Something I'm still very much learning. So, I don't regret it. I do maybe regret not content diversifying. I think I've kind of reached the point where I'm like, I love doing esports, but does my content all have to be esports? Or maybe, just maybe, and this is a crazy thought, I'm potentially interesting enough that people would watch me for things other than casting. Probably wrong on that one. But this is so right, it feels wrong. We have got the Mindwork Palace build. Yeah, B doesn't really need this in this type of game, per se. I think you could just comfortably get towards Castle with Pro Scouts and just get all the relics. But this is a B classic. We see him do this in matchups where you don't need it. Like, for example, you don't really need Mindwork in the Delhi matchup, but he does it there as well. This is all about aggressively ending the game as swiftly as possible, giving Dumu no hopes of recovery. How old is my kid? So one of my kids is almost 3 years old. The other one is just a few months old now. He's approaching 5 months old. Yeah, I've got 2. Thank you. It's very expensive on the bills. The maths checks out. I'm going to need a double Dumu sub count per month to feel safe. There we go. That's a high target. Surprised Valorant is still popular. I think it was the timing as well. A lot more people got into gaming across COVID. And Valorant released at that point. It definitely helped. Yeah, it's, So the whole point of, like, you're uniquely... I'm going to keep holding on. Uniquely skilled caster. Thank you very much. It's why one of my long-term goals is to not just do AV4 content, but almost kind of develop kind of a watch party caster-esque vibe, if that makes sense. I would love to be in a world where we could have 4 or 5 different games where when major tournaments happen, we tune in and cover it. That would be incredible. I think that's the kind of, I don't know if I want to say control, but freedom that a lot of creators want. It's not that we don't love what we create around solely. Like, I love Age of Empires 4. But it's also freaking scary, right? Like, the opportunity for growth may be lacking unless you have a lot of new players coming in. You don't know how long the game's going to ever get support. You hope it's going to be for 100 years, but will it ever? You always want to, you know, be in control of your own destiny. That's why we've really made an effort to, you know, support raiding creators that we know who are, like, for example, going into different games. I think the other day we had His Watson, where I said, yeah, this guy used to always do Apex. He's trying to do, like, Marvel Rivals. He's trying to do Elden Ring. Let's go support that, because I can tell you guys, when you change your content type, it is so, so scary. Like, I would love to be, you know, I've said this before, but I'd love to be able to start casting some Rocket League games or casting some Dota 2 again on this channel. And then maybe have opportunities open up so that I can balance going to these big events and being here with you guys. But it's freaking scary, man. I think every creator goes through this. Sadly, we wish our brain wasn't as dominated by numbers, but because of the fact that that's how, like, money directly correlates and that's how sponsors choose who they sponsor, our brains always go there. His brain always goes to the numbers too, just a different way. We are getting the Zerg Spear that he's just become infamous for at this stage, but he's not skipping a beat, right? We have him contesting into the Pro Scouts. We also have him lobbing for what could easily be a gradual tech up. He has to block the deer from coming home, but in fairness, with this many spearmen, there might be a world in which he just shoves one of these packs back towards his base. What about midweek muster? It's literally here to stay, man. We are on week 13 of... I don't know if it'll be 30 in the end. Close to 30. I'll set a safe low bar of like 25 weeks at least should occur. The reason I'm doing that is obviously, you know, we might have... I don't know actually mathematically we have enough weeks left for 30 now. To the end of June. Someone who's career focused, I feel like I see quite a lot of downsides to a certain extent if you're bound by the state of AoE4, which players are playing and going to... Exactly. And that's what I've said before. Like, I'd love for more people to care about just the low-ranked games or whatever, but it's a challenge to get to people at that stage. Isn't it going to be forever? Nothing's forever. I think in a lot of ways, the fragile nature of things is what makes them so special. If you knew Age of Empires 4 was going to exist for 50 years, you wouldn't relish in the beautiful moments that it's created over the last 3. So Demu is getting ready for a tech up. Despite the early aggression for B, I'm not liking his position here. Regnance is on the way, but this is for Imba. And I'm pretty sure Demu got 3 stacks of deer. Right? Remember it is. If Demu just goes Mansa Mustafadi, he has a really powerful timing here. Yeah, make no mistake about it, folks. This game is definitely not over. B, one upside he does have the Mindwork build. Look at the prelate count already. He techs up, he already has 4 prelates. And he's looking to vacuum all the goodies. Other weird thing is B didn't go all pikes. This is going to be the mass knight strategy, right? With the steel barding. Still not convinced that beats Mansa Mustafadi, though. Forest Scouts are at least going to be a nuisance, so we'll be able to deny one of the relics coming home. As it is currently a 4 relic pull, we'll turn it into a 3. But they're all getting close enough to the base. Wallow's going to come out on the flank. Other ones look like they're going to be making it home. So 3 relics already in the base for B. 1 is impossible. The 4th feels almost undeniable. He didn't go for the Musafadi. We've got Javelineer play here. I'm a little bit surprised by this, actually. So what's the strategy now for B? He's still playing only Spears Horseman. He still doesn't have any melee techs at all. Javelineers is going to make this awkward. In theory, the Spearman does work, right? And the reason it works is because you have marching drills. Normal Spears can get kited by Javelineers. I don't think the Javelineers work that well against HRE, though. I'm kind of shocked. I think Mansa Musafadi makes a lot more sense here, guys. Because Mansa Musafadi would have a 4 melee base armor, which completely offsets all pikes. So Mansa Musafadi can beat Spears, right? They can hold back Horsemen. They can make sure that HRE can't go men-at-arms, they can't go knights, none of it. From this position, B can flood all pikes type units, and then eventually potentially switch into knights with steel barding. Don't disagree, League has turned into Disney in my opinion. I played it for 8 years and I can only watch Worlds now, it's annoying. Yeah, people tend to go for like the big glorious event. It's always, that's the challenge is in a scene, you're trying to be the biggest spectacle because you will definitely generate the most audience, right? Like look at how many people will tune in for Red Bull World Lore but won't care about the rest of the year. It's true of every game. TI has this as well for Dota 2. Apex Legends undoubtedly would have had it for LGS champs. So both are on the walls. Wait, is this going to be 5 relics? This army looks so small. Dimu seems reluctant to commit. I don't think he's sure that this is everything. But he's going to have to make his move. The relic's being picked up. There's no way you get this home. Warlord's going to come out very early, but the Javelineers will just snipe him down. B just has to run. Tuck, tail, and hide here. Farm transition's coming in, but reminder, this is mine work, not Arkin. It's weak. Not sure if you saw this, KP, but Relic CEO gave an interview where he talked about how they plan on innovating the RTS. They spun up a team called Relic Labs to release new small RTSs in RTS-like games. That's interesting. I don't know how feasible it is to make small RTSs. I think RTSs is one of the harder genres to develop unless you have a reliable, stoic engine that's designed for rapidly vomiting out different concepts. But I do agree with the idea of making smaller games. I think we're kind of reaching a point where developers are going to start appreciating that it's actually moronic to spend $500 million on one game with no conceptual proof that it's worth it. Now, it's different if you do like a smartly designed live service that you develop into costing that much over time. But even live service games, I think, are going to shrink in their count. Like, you actually can already see this. If you guys look at Sony, Sony had, I can't remember how many plans it was, like 15 live service games. They cut it down to like half that already. There's a very big shift coming in the gaming industry. And yeah, I mean, I don't think it's obnoxious to say or arrogant to say I am the most experienced caster in Age of Empires. That just comes with the territory. Like, the thing with Age of Empires is Age of Empires historically is not a scene of professional casters, it's a scene of professional content creators. The cast. Now, that's not a flame on them, it's just a different style. Dimu. Showing you just how much of a pro he is in this one, by the way. 32 javelins. We do have that night barding night switch coming. Is the poison going to be too strong? I mean, it's a lot of Donzos is my bigger concern here. This is a very difficult hold for B. Very strong timing for Dimu. He's 4 relics home. In theory, if you can get these outposts up, if you can get some spring emplacements in, very difficult for even javelins to dive. Just doesn't have that layer of control over his own base yet. Can you watch Dota now because of the community's toxicity? Well, we talked about this as well, right? Like, the reason StarCraft has continued to do so well all these years is because the audience stopped playing, now they watch. AoE4 doesn't have that yet. AoE2 has that. A lot of older games have that. The generations that don't have time to play, but have time to watch. A lot of 4 is still embedded in people that play the game because we're so young. Air raids are great on the interception now. I like that from B. He can't directly fight. And due to the slow-moving army, Dumu's just kind of forced to do this weird dance, and it's buying the space necessary for these outposts to start installing emplacements. Those games people are playing are from before 2019. Yeah, like what are the biggest games in the world? Apex Legends, League of Legends, Dota 2, Counter-Strike. Actually, Counter-Strike 2 came out, right? So it's like a newer version, but it was an updated version of the older game, basically. And those games, by the way, baited this concept of making 1 million games as live services products. Which just doesn't work. It's weird because while you have these very successful games, all the new ones are stuck in a seasonal nature of things where people don't really commit to new games anymore. They hop. You can see it in ARPGs. Path of Exiles 2, all the Diablo creators go there. Diablo expansion, bunch of Path of Exile ones come into Diablo. Now, these bulky boys are not going to die easily, by the way. They only take 4 damage per strike. They're very expensive, though. B, the Landsnake idea is cool. The issue is just how easily you can get kited. Like, this is basically mass range versus mass melee. Flash coming in. Nice. You just have to brute force this. Donzo count is low. On the 11 on the front line. The Knight's health bars are depleting fast here, though. There's a growing risk that there's not going to be any cavalry left for the push. Yeah, and another big problem here. B, forced to fight before Inspired Warriors came in. There's not going to be many warriors left to inspire at this rate. Second wave now arriving for Dimu. Donzos have been removed from the defense force. There's a handful of horsemen and knights pushing this back. The Lance are cleaning up against the Donzos. But B needs to get back in the house. You've chased him off of your garden. He's off your property. Don't be the guy naked in his boxes at maximum that chases him down the street like a madman. Because then you've gone from self-defense to indecent exposure. You're going to be the one in trouble. See? Those are the weird analogies that that random person on Reddit was complaining about. Probably because his brain can't process an analogy. Dive coming in. We do at least have Springald placements now. We have a lot of them. We've got double Springald, we've got archer shots as well. Springald's over here, right? Springald here as well. It's just made his base full scorched earth feeling, right? You can't walk in without feeling like it's a bad trade. We do have the siege engineering coming. Dimu, honestly, just go 4 rams. Don't mess around on this. I've seen too many times people skimp with 1, maybe 2 rams max. Against E-repairs, it loses you games. Do I know Basil Faulty? No. What's Basil Faulty? Wait, you mean, is that from, you mean, oh, from 40 Towers? Yeah, yeah. 40, yeah. Of course. No, he's done the 1 ram. Someone just needs to make a One Love remix song for 1 ram. It'll just be a replay of all the games lost because someone only built 1 ram. 1 ram. The times we acquired 1 ram. He's gonna stay alive. Oh, if I had 4 rams, he wouldn't survive. This just doesn't feel it. I mean, admittedly, B is being very lackluster with his villagers' lives there. Allowing them to get sniped for free. But this is what I mean. Like, not even a single outpost down. And all of a sudden, that big military lead doesn't exist anymore. I'm confused right now. And Dimu, yeah, the raids are at least going to fail to hit there. He does block the attempt. We do have ranchers getting added in, so he's inflating his lead. He could have easily had enough wood for multi-ram here. He has 3,000 gold. My World War II analogies always make you think of him. What? Dude, the Magano line is a bloody good reference point. And as an Englishman, it's always very important that we criticize the ambitious choice by the French to think that that sort of defensive strategy would work. Okay, that was a very diplomatic way of saying an Englishman will always look to criticize a Frenchman, but yes. That's her academy coming in now for Dimu. Now you think, why doesn't B just build mangoes? It doesn't really work against javeliniers. They have good enough range to just dive and kill you, but also they move so fast, they'll dodge you. It's not until you're Imperial that it makes sense. All right, here we go. One ram. Sing along in the chat. You guys know this song now. Probably don't. I made it up on the spot a few seconds ago. For Dimu's mother's life, one ram. For the times we cried, one ram. His base will stay alive. If I built four, he wouldn't survive. Okay, so we're halfway there. God, that's kind of catchy, actually. Two sacred sites now locked in. However, this big break in the push has given B an idea. What if I could raid him? And this defense force is very underwhelming. The timing couldn't be worse for him. He's not even in the base yet. Dives in. Risk of losing villages. He's going to clean up the military units first. To get more troopers here. Instead, he's just going to shuffle the rams in. But wait. You need to guard the rams. Uh-oh. Dimu? Well, that's one. We're back to one ram. Raid on the other side found 6 worker kills. And a lot of idle time as well. This is just kind of awkward, man. There's just so many towers. I mean, his military is definitely bigger. But he needs these towers gone. The problem is they're daisy chained in. The E-repairs is there. Torches are out. Sprint placement coming in the additional tower. Reminder, these are buffed, by the way. The Relic does give 25% more damage and more weapon range. This is just toxic. At some point, Dimu has to be thinking, just build a siege workshop and get some trebs here, right? In fairness, he's keeping B in his base. And the reason that's valuable is we do have a ticking win condition. What Dimu needs to do now is go Imperial. And you're probably looking at Fort the 100. No! I love the weird horn when you fail to hold a sacred site. Like when you give the wrong answer on a quiz show. All of a sudden, he gets to take that chill pill. Although we already have another raid coming in. Textiles at least minimize the losses. Only one worker kill so far, but no, we're doing it again. We're actually doing it again. He's already in range of 3 Springald emplacements. This is so toxic. You may not like it, but this is peak defensive base layout. Oh my god. Even over here. It's kind of crazy just how many emplacements he's got with such little stone. In all boar map where you place all the sheep with boar. Ah, I see you really don't want the Delhi or the Abbasids to play the map. Or the Ottomans. Or the Malians. Actually, no, Malians good. They have Gal. So Fort the Huntress is coming. We do have the age up. Meanwhile for B, he's too busy enjoying a TD game to play an RTS game. Night raid. No. What? What? Are you kidding me? The timing on that from B. And wait, no. The gate's gonna take way too long. Practically all the villagers should be dead from this, right? But he gets away with 2. Army is reacting, so we'll get the tech up now. But B delayed it for quite a while. He knows about it, and not just that, he's coming! It's 38 land stacked! With javelins you can kite, but here you have to stand your ground. It's cleaver time. That is a lava hot knife straight through the butter. Trying to rush the age up. The villagers haven't been reached yet. It's starting to ripple through to them though. The massacre is real here. Tech up complete. But the price is high in Malian blood. 34 military to 53. B will have to back away from the landmark. But all of a sudden, what felt like a cut and dry level up and move ahead is no longer so simple. B still has his own issues. He has to either go home, Imperial, or he needs to go in. And you better believe it, B, if he's gonna have to go back, bare minimum, there won't be a clock ticking against him. Good God. What a series this one is cooking up to be. Knights are going to try to raid again. Don't think we have any gaps for him to sliver on through, at least. We do have a Musafadi switch coming out from Dumu now. Interesting choice into Mass Landsknechter. The B is going for his patented Springholds. Night charge is going to be coming in. Landsknechter, oh my God. He's trying to contest the Sacred Site. It's not possible right now. He needs more damage, needs more upgrades. Triple Mangonel, triple Springholds. Surely this isn't working. Good call making this a best of 5. I mean, it is delivering. I don't know if we'll be good on schedule though, right? Like this series started hour and a half ago. We've still got potentially 3 more games after this. And then somehow we need to slot in the other quarterfinals and the semi-final. Oh my God, it's going to be a long day. Yesterday was a 9-hour stream. I thought this one might be shorter. Grab's now arriving to deal with the Fort the Huntress, and he's getting ready for a tech up. I don't think we're going to be seeing Els back here, right? It'd be kind of nuts. Now, this is why he went for the Musafadi, by the way. Remember, they are Mansa. So, like, you know, I wondered why you want to do this. In theory, it's not the worst of ideas. You need something to front line, and these things are about as tanky as Sofas, it feels like, right? Sofas have 7 melee armor right now. The elite Mansa Musafadi have 6. You're hearing that correctly. They get 4 melee armor in Castle, 5 in Imperial, and it is an Elsback. Of course, the entire game so far for B has been survive because we have emplacements. So why not make everything a bit more tanky? And wait, did he not see that? He must have. There's no way he doesn't know this. Problem is, it's mostly just the javelins, right? He peeled the Mansa, they're not here. There's no way you're stopping this. It's going to be going up. What a series this is leveling up to be. The series of the tournament, I think. I'm not sure if anyone's going to be able to top this. L's back up. Should be hard to dive. It's not going to stop Dimmu, though. He just goes straight in. The Sofas are unanswered here. B, he doesn't have Spearman for this. Oh my God. It's kind of crazy, but so much of the comp has so much ranged armor. The javelins, the Sofas. The only thing that dies to the Elsback, really. And the Mansa Musafadi. And the Zerg is real. All seats removed. All right, B. Let's get back in that base and do what we always do. We're going to do what we do every night, Pinky. Sit under outposts and not die? Yes, that's exactly what we were going for. Not sure it's going to let us take over the world. But it will make sure that Dumu struggles to. When do extra villagers become null, considering pop cap? I mean, he was close to 100. It can kind of make sense. I think he just needed the extra defense more than the economy. Because it's already becoming suffocating. And, well, I think the pillow is about to come down on poor little B's face. He's getting smothered. We're at a stage now where Dumu's army should be big enough to just kind of dive with impunity. The Spirals are definitely going to eventually kill him. But his economy should be good enough to just regurgitate an army again. Especially when you consider that B's entire economy is now just shutting down. At least where it matters, the food. Oh my god, for real on the food though. Like he finds the second wave. B didn't pull the villagers early. He was just hiding in the corner praying. Even more worker losses. And reminder, this is a Elsbach Palace build. No Palace of Swabia. AKA, any villager losses are going to feel permanent here. How the hell does B win this now? Mass siege? Mass siege in theory can make sense. He has got 4 relics. He's got a big fat tree line still to work with. Dumu. Oh, he has actually he's going to slow things down. Yes, he didn't try to vomit out a new wave. It is always tricky. You have to remember you haven't got Fulani, so your feeding comes a bit weaker. And there we go. That's the big issue. I think that might be the first or second cluster of farms. Yeah, that is literally the first farms that Dumu is building. So he basically played this as long as he could without having to make a farm transition to make that play work. And now we're also going to be seeing him set up the marketplaces. Because against 4 Relic Regnates, you're going to need some way to compete with the gold. Alright, 1's if you think Dumu's going to win this. 2's if you think B's going to take it. Because look at B's comp. Look at what Dumu is researching. If you're not typing 1 now, I'm a bit concerned. Elite Man to Musafadi already have 5 base armor. He's about to give them another 4. You just heard me correctly. These units can go up to a maximum of 12 melee armor. With 150 HP, and all it costs you is 80 resources. And B's entire strategy in this game has been build melee units. Even with the all pikes, the 15% DPS increase, it doesn't quite match against what his opponent has. It's going to be hard. He does have some more scalability on his spears, admittedly. He can get elite army tactics. Then his bombards are trying to move in. Elsbach is just so obnoxious. Reminder of what this landmark does. 50% more health than standard keep, and you reduce the damage all buildings in your influence range take by 33%, which at this stage, if he just adds in a lumber cap or 2 here, he could daisy chain it to affect his entire base. He's got to pop a relic in the Elsbach. I think he might have just forgot at this stage, to be honest. I do love the fact that he went with the Inspired Blessing. Like, I think he needs everything he can get here. The damage mitigation difference is too big otherwise. So we have got to return once more to the farmland area. He's only behind by 20 villages. Only. 20 villages and 18 cows. Notice that Dumu is just doing everything he can to avoid that Elsbach. He's just bundling only spears now. Bombards slowly making their way through the emplacements also. These are kind of irreplaceable at this stage. Type bonds can give you a little bit of stone trickle, but you don't have as much active access anymore. And the clash comes in. And the tankiness is real on these things. Mansa bloody Mustafadi, taking 3 damage per strike, it feels like. Landsknecht are going to do a little bit better, but even the AoE damage gets mitigated by a lot of the melee armor. They're only tickling. And that looks like the break point. Dumu still with 88 military. B down to just 20. Oh my dear God. You can barely see the purple bodies there. It felt like maybe Dumu lost 10 units while B lost 40. Oh, good for him, he doesn't need these houses anymore due to the losses. Not so good for him. He won't be able to make a clean sweep in this series, no. Because this feels like we're going to have 1-1 at the end. Good raid in. Finds the culverins unguarded due to an actual lack of anyone existing. Villagers are being pulled for the clutch repair. The next wave is on the way. If Dumu just stops A-clicking as much, I think he's won this. His javelins are hitting buildings a lot. But now they're catching up. And the tower's maybe about to fall here. If it was cannon emplacements, maybe. Just maybe you could believe. He's gonna have to fall back temporarily here. Yeah, kind of weird, right? If Dumu had these 30 javelins attacking that fight underneath the springle towers, I don't think B gets this resurge. But because he was discombobulated with his comp, B does get a second wind here. Still, behind this, Dumu should have what? Traders coming in now? Yeah, 6 so far, he's scaling. Elite Army Tactics is finally on the way for B. I wondered how long we were going to be waiting. You'd think he'd be able to afford it sooner with the 4 relics, but no. It's taken this long. Doesn't have biology either. Just a lot of missing techs, it feels like, for B. Has the Elsbach influence? No, he does not. The Elsbach hasn't been daisy chained in. You can see, because if you click on it, it tells you what's in range. Just like if you click this, we see the pluses all the way through. So B actually messed up big time here. He's missing 1 lumber camp here. If he has a lumber camp, it daisy chains. Dumu needs to keep pushing now. He does still have all this room up here to expand into. In some ways, he kind of needs to for more wood. His tree lines are starting to run out a bit. Stealthy boys are going to look to move in onto the farms. Outpost is going to reveal them, though. The problem is, B has basically played this entire game trying to just defend his way to victory. And we're starting to reach the point where that hurts. Dumu just has too much economy left. He's got all these straggler trees in the center to work with, and now trade control. B needs to break out soon. Could this be the moment? Dumu. Been a little bit overextended. Remember, a lot of his Mustafadi went deeper onto the farms. So B should be capable of winning this fight, but the next one might be a bit more concerning. Yeah, he has lost a lot of economy. Javelins are just so damn fast. Basically, that's the front line now for the bombars to keep them alive. Second wave of Mustafadi is arriving, though, and I think he played that so well. Could have been a lot worse. Eva has to break away, let the bombars be sacrificed, or throw the javelins away normally. He's not able to get enough damage done there, not without the biology. I would be mind blown if B wins this now. He has got 4 relics. But Dumu's just been unharassed for the last, what, 10 minutes? 16 traders now. Swabe would have been useful. Yeah, but if he has Swabia, what stops Dumu going down the center? Nothing. Right? The Elsbach is the only reason that I think B survived that transition. Fast comes in again. 12 armor Mansamu Safari. Just don't die anyway to quick enough here. Just a small trickle is holding the entire army in place. Love the Sofa mixed in as well, just for the free leadership. This is kind of crazy, actually. Javelineers almost move as quickly as heavy cavalry when they have a Sofa nearby. What a game. What a series. I like how we just had the EGC finals. We're here in the quarterfinals of our weeklies, by the way. And I don't know, man. After game 1 and now game 2, it's almost like these two are trying to compete for Tournament Series of 2025 in a weekly. B once again able to shove him out of the base. But immediately afterwards, lacking the additional military to push further. I think with the way this is trending, if it continues this way all the way through, and we had made this a BO9, I want to just bluntly say it would be on par with the Marine Lord Beastie finals. These two have delivered quite the showing already. Japanese against Jean, a matchup where you'd expect Jean to just roll it. Malians against HRE, a matchup that usually HRE takes by 15 minutes. Yeah, every time, the expected is not the outcome here. So I guess for that reason, if we see Juji versus Ottomans, we're saying Ottomans win? Ooh, that's an interesting matchup to think about. But that would involve Juji not being banned ever. Backstab in, Horseman. He does fish for the bombards here. We've switched attention to the Elsbach. And reminder, this thing is not easy to kill. No, because it's not 7,500 HP. It's more like 10,000 HP because of the damage reduction. So its effective HP is insanely strong. Put a Relic in here, it gets even more armor. Moon is coming in though. Battering rams are getting targeted. Lines are going to be spreading out. He's basically just using culverins to answer rams here. The horsemen are going to be able to reach it soon as well. And genuinely, what damage? We also, by the way, do now have the influence everywhere. I think that's why Dumu switched targets. He saw that the outposts had got the influence and they weren't going to die. You've got to be thinking, surely at some point, hand cannon is, right? It's risky, it's difficult for Dumu. Like, he's got 25 traders, but each of them worth 53. I think you can afford hand cannoneers now. He's making the jabs because they're just good poking units. They have great movement speed. They have poison damage, good base damage. But like at this stage, gunners would make a lot of sense. The crazier part though is that he's prepping for elite archers. With no wood. This might be the weirdest point in the game to do archers at. Remember, you've basically just got straggler trees now. "46 minutes in the game, and it's still not clear who's taking this." Absolute insanity. Oh, true, actually, good eye. Well, yeah, he has got 8k wood. The thing is, like, do you think you can end with archers quickly? Right? Because, like, it's 50 wood per. 8,000 sounds like a lot until you're vomiting out archers in late game for 5 minutes. Speed. Just a reminder, the only range units this guy has built all game is culverins. Oh, mangoes and sprinkles. Basically siege. Welcome to HRE life. Sorry, HRE no lifers seems more appropriate. Also, Culverins do benefit from the Inspire buff, by the way. A little bit more damage, not a crazy amount. Kind of matters, though, considering it's siege type against battering rams. He's gaining ground. He's going to reset, right? Like, you know, no point pushing if you're not at 200 pop right now. The fact that he's competing while... I don't remember the last time he touched 200 pop, right? Like, it would have been before the raids hit the south side. The fact that he's competing while being this much behind on population kind of says it all. You go Lance Nectar instead of Men at Arms here because Mansa Musafadi counter you. Like, I'm fine with B's play. The comment in chat, like, you do not go Men at Arms here. Mansa Musafadi, look at the damage they do. If you go into Men at Arms, your opponent is going to over double his damage with his Mansa Musafadi. Lance Nectar will fare better here. Higher DPS, and because of the difference in damage taken, the health is comparative to an MAA. What gets scary here is now your opponent's going archers, which not only counts the spin, and it does count the Lance Nectar. Notice that he's kind of pausing on the idea. He needs B to stop building horsemen first. This was why I was reluctant about the archer idea. Because you've still been building javelins, your opponent is inclined to build a lot of horses. Speaking of those horses, we're hearing riders. I'm going to shuffle into the back. And ironically, Dimmu is building Springalds against the man who's had a Springled IV drip attached to him for the last several months. He's built up an immunity to this play. Dimmu, rough time to stand your ground as well. B, he's cleared the keep. He's gaining more ground. It's now a double military advantage for the 3D clan member. And Dimmu is about to get hunted down and scalped. He's running out of space. Remember, he needs to be out here to gather the wood. I mean, admittedly, he's got 9,000 wood in reserve. But the more important thing is that means that villagers are on the front line. This is absolutely ridiculous. How did this game turn into a win? Dimmu looked like he had the time in a dominant position on the map after a rough start. But B... I mean, you might as well just extend his name to say Beastie. It's like old school, I 1% chance, but let's find a way through defensively. And on the HRE of all civs, the whole theme fits. Trade now about to be hit as well. This looks done. What's that? Culverins are perfect for sniping traders. Don't mind if I do. Goes to the Springles first. Unbelievable. And remember, Dimmu, his eco situation is deceptive. 25 of them are not going to be giving him anything anymore. The traders have been cut off. Like a spoiled rich kid that annoyed daddy a few too many times. And daddy is indeed home. B, about to go 2-up in this best of 5 series. And even if it ends up being a 3-0 sweep, you better damn well believe it delivered. If this series was an Uber driver, you would have given it 5 stars. Kept me entertained the whole way on the ride. Didn't do anything to annoy me. Even had mints. We're still reluctant to wave that flag. At this point, though, last of the trades coming in, right? You're not going to make the return trip. So your gold income's going to, what, half? Musafadi, Javelin's not possible. He has one play and one play on his archers. Wood is the only thing he has left. He still hasn't cleared the horseman, though. B is struggling a little bit on wood himself, but he just gained the center of the map. And there is a lot of trees here. Coastal deceptive, really. It doesn't look like there's that much wood, but I don't want to say it's on high view levels. It's a lot closer to it than you'd think. I think the wood levels on this map are closer to high view than Dry Arabia. All those straggler trees really do add up. That is the trader's cut off. Next up, let's hit the farms. He's just grinding them down, man. Mass melee is being mass ranged at this stage. He does need to reset. At this point, he's slightly overextending. B doesn't have that much full production. So he might calm down for a moment. But he'll leave a tree in his wake, right? We've got outposts just moving up. We'll get a moment of reprieve here. Military bigger. The B now with a healthy lead. Headed by 20. Would Spear Hand Cannon be better for Dimmu? There was a time where maybe he could have, but like now, you don't have the gold. I think earlier on when we started Javelin spam, he needed Hand Cannoneers. The problem is Javelineers are so good at not dying. And that's kind of a problem sometimes. Because if you want to change your range backline to be higher quality, you're not losing it unless you do something really bad. It's almost like in an ideal world, you're losing the Javelineers, but the Intensifies is surviving. That world doesn't really exist, though. I can't believe this. E-Repair is still in range for this outpost. And that's a cannon emplacement as well. The bombards will be able to get through it in time. Just about. B has equalized on the military count, though. And yes, Elsbach does extend the E-repairs. It doesn't have it itself. It needs to be in range, or was it changed? I think it was changed, so it has it itself, right? But it is shared with the other TC. Well, kind of feels like a miracle that Dimmu's not dead yet, but the reserves are running out. Remember when he had like 3,000, like 8,000 wood? We're down to 3. Did it not get changed? I'm pretty sure someone said it got changed recently. It at least allows you to use the influence range, right? Because that outpost is really far out. I think that's the more confusing thing, right? Is like a TC gives a range out to here. But for some reason, the Elsbach, if it's not repairing itself, it does at least give a range out to here as well. Griot Bara could have been useful. Yeah, but if he'd gone Griot Bara, he would have died to the dive from before, right? It's just so hard to now push further. We only got double bombard against an Elsbach. Said in chat earlier, you need like 5 of those things to deal with it. And every time in this game, every single goddamn time, you'd think that Dimmu can do something. He arrives at the outpost. Awesome, now just going for the snipe. Okay, he might not get the bombards, but he is going to find the range just standing still. And one horseman. Ooh, almost gets the kill. Second wave is arriving, though. B's army is smaller. However, it feels like it packs a bit more of a punch. Especially with the Landsnip laid in there. Just needs to find that clump target. Fortunately for him, Doom is just doing a good job of being staggered here. We'll force the retreat. And we actually have sofas now from Doom. Interesting. Okay, he's going to give him the movement speed on his full comp to get in quicker reinforcements to push farther. The coal runs are the scary point, though. You're in a little bit of a rough phase here, right? Because whoever has more cannons can dictate this push. At this stage, I want to say maybe trebuchets. God, it feels weird to say, but At least you wouldn't have to worry about the fact your opponent has more cannons than you, right? And yeah, the thing about all pikes at this stage is it's +2 in the early phase, but when you get to this deep in the game, because Elite Army Tactics is a percentile scaler, it's actually more than 2 in the late game, right? Oh, she's all getting raided on the back again. Been a while since these farms were hit up. They were beginning to know a peaceful life. The only thing that might kill us around here is a sea mine. 5 stars for you if you got that reference. If not, we may need a movie night. Horseman. Nice interception. Gets rid of the bombards. Now, Dumu, he does still have traders. He's back up to 20. So he can afford to replace those. Do I have to wake up at night to pee? Nope, that's what the adult diapers are for. Where are the spears? There's like 8 there. That sounds like enough to take on 40 horsemen. This game is not going to end. How many trees? Oh my god, he still has trees here. I think Dumu's out of trees, though. Okay, no, he's got some as well. I warned you guys. I bloody well warned you. I need a select all trees button. I'm curious, actually, what the count difference is between this and high view. I just don't think it's as high as you'd think. Reminder, by the way, these two did draft high view as well. This series on its own could end up being like 5 hours long. We've been here before so many times on the south side. Oh my god, he's just sending it. This is so many horsemen. Not enough Donzos. Spears will just party on the backside with the few Donzos left over. Good stab in with his horsemen. Can he get enough kills for it to really make a difference, though? At this point, killing archers is worth more than killing javelins, by the way. Because of the lack of long-term trees. Oh my... Yeah, all pikes is OP, guys. Look how good all pikes is. I mean, it's good against... In favor of building spears, right? But... Oh, horsemen... I don't know. I feel like all pikes is better at an early phase of the game. Just like we do have Mustafadi sneaking the flanks. Smart move there, actually. You creep in on the tree lines. Then again, there's just so many straggler trees still left. What is this game and why is it not over? Yes. Late game Age of Empires 4. I need to get my sound cues back on my stream deck. Oops. And yeah, the game you're thinking of in Borderland was Dumu Malians versus Numidan HRE. It was a long, long game. That one didn't have all fights. It also had, I think, less reliance on static defenses to survive for 2/3 of the game. Kind of surprised, actually. Dumu, it's kind of interesting, right? Usually, Malians would go adjustable crossbars at this stage, but because your opponent has been spamming horsemen non-stop, you don't feel confident with that play. Understandably so. Both sides also have too much mobility. Spearmen moving at 1.38, Javelineers at 1.38, if not more, with the Sofa aura. Mangoes just feel like on both sides they would miss way too much. Once more into the breach. I feel like we've tried this before. Should be able to get for the cannon placement. Looks like actually, yeah, the lumber camps never got replaced, so there's no E-repairs here. He's just trying to raid now. Dumu's like, screw these fights. This is pointless. B, we've been here for an hour. I'm an old man. I need my naps. That nap is going to be late tonight, Grandpa. Goodness gracious. 2 games into a BO5, and we're already going to be at 2 hours plus on the broadcast for this series alone. Mustafadi are going to be raiding the farms. Decent hit here, actually beat. Oh my god, he's down to 65 villages. But wait, what if that just meant he could build more military? Bits around, backstab comes in with the horseman. Mustafadi are trying to assist, but remember, they don't get bonus damage against the ponies. These bad boys last a long time. They need to right now, considering that B is behind by almost 30 villages. Trade is starting to be reached here. Not easy to kill with the 112 health now. We need a nuke super weapon. I've said it before. Some people are like, Age of Myth is too hard to follow. Okay, but, you know, wouldn't it be cool in the 5th age to say, hell, I want to drop a meatball. Where's the meteor? People were moaning earlier about hero units. What if we just introduced new hero units in Age 5? Leonidas just appears. Hulls a spear so hard it just blows up a giant chunk of the battalion. Actually, why has no one done like an anime-style RTS to the extreme, you know? Naruto RTS when? Don't like anime? Okay, you don't like anything. You're more negative than my diabetes test. Thank God for that, by the way. No real raids hitting the backside anymore. Dumu's economy has gone down a little bit as well. Is Warcraft really that different from anime? Sort of. Different style animations, you know? I think, like, Dota and League of Legends animations, even though they might have originated the idea from Warcraft, this style was probably closer to anime in some cases. RTS audience is largely old white dudes. I don't think anime captures their audience. Capture a new audience. God, we've been over this. Yawn. Stop going for the same audience time and time again. Do you guys realize why Apex Legends is so popular in Asia? For some random reason, Japan loves it. A country that historically doesn't give a crap about FPSs. Let that sink in, how big of a deal that was. There you go, Anatan, his opinion matters. I'm taking his over the rest of the anime haters. IAR anime coming in. Where's Faye when we need her? She'd support this. You know what? Like, when people say duck and weeb now, I feel like the appropriate response is, screw you, news watcher. Grandpa and his freaking NBS news station radio. Be free, cows! Be free! And they immediately try to get back in a ranch. And that's quite smart. Dumu's like hid them in the ranch. I mean, it doesn't really matter about Filani. You can just rebuild them anywhere, right? How is this game still going? And we do at least finally have gunners, so there might be hope for Dumu if it wasn't for the fact that B has 26 Landsknechte again. Good God. It's okay though. Landsknechte are very easily answered, guys. You just need to get 20 bombards. Very good at sniping them. You have 100 damage, they have 100 health. It's a match made in heaven. Sadly, Dumu only has 2. The melee mosh pit is real, though. Landsknecht, there's only 10 left. They will be able to break through quick enough. I don't think there's going to be many of them left to finish off that back line, though. No, so he breaks away. Oh, my Gideon. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, let's have an Avatar RTS. I don't know about Dragon Ball Z RTS. Asymmetrical Attack on Titan RTS. Code Geass RTS. Basically a Mecha RTS. Is this it? Has he finally done it? B looks a bit spent. His issue isn't food, his issue is wood, guys. There's not many options left here. And the gathering is getting wider and wider. At this point, I'd advise if you need a toilet break, just like turn the volume up so I'm obnoxiously loud in your house and then just go. You're probably not going to miss the end. Can't believe we've got 2 more best of 5s after this. I was like, wow, today could be a very long day, guys. We might have like up to 23 games maximum. We're only 4 games in. I'm coming in here, but shouldn't really do too much damage. What's that? The only RTS you play is the League of Legends RTS? Please, Dota 2. Dota 2 is actually like, you can get RTSs made in there. Someone started to basically remake Warcraft in the Dota 2 engine. It was hilarious. I respect that. That is definition full circle. Well, I was like, hey, maybe today's stream's quick enough that I can tuck my daughter in goodnight. There goes that plan. It's down to 55 villagers. Oh, God. So the gunner numbers are growing, right? I don't think B can win fights directly anymore. You've basically built mass spears against gunpowder, which is a recipe for disaster. Even as the first strike triggers. So reminder, first strike basically gives you double damage. So as you can see, the first shot from these hand cannoneers is almost going to one-hit spearman. It's 82 damage to a 130 HP unit. Used to be with Elite Army Tactics, you might be able to barely survive that. Not anymore. Diving comes in. Horsemen are going to wrap around the back. Bombards are looking to deal with the keep before the emplacements come in. It's a full rotation to backstab those. So he's looking at those bombards. But he's clicked right on them instead of just trying to get through the range line. He gets blocked at the last second. Demu is going to lose a few hand cannoneers, but overall most of them still alive. Frontliner has been mopped up at the lance net, but the keep is dead. If you just trickle in for... okay, no, he just calls it. That's enough. Finally, that's enough. An hour-long game comes to a conclusion. Dumu had to work this hard to get 1 point on the board. It makes you wonder what the rest of this series is going to look like. Let me know what you guys thought about this game. Possibly one of the most epic games we've had in Midweek Muster. If so, what is it with Malians always featuring in these insanely crazy late-game scenarios? Let me know what you think. I'll catch you in the next one.